cards? How does he get to play 2 cards off my him? That's not fair.
Yeah, what just happened? Obviously, it's a sorcery, but you know, I would like him, and somehow, still next turn he would go, oh, show and tell wonderful, awesome.
Huh.
So on the left, John Cuvelier, no stranger to the camera himself. We saw him yesterday. On the right, Gerry Thompson, no stranger to the Wait, did I say that? No stranger to the camera himself. We did not see him yesterday, though.
No, we didn't.
Gerry, level 8 mage in the Star City Games Players Club.
No camera to the stranger himself.
Absolutely what you said. So John leads off with an Ancient Tomb, takes 2 from it, and plays Sensate's Divining Top. Uses that extra mana to activate the top. Just get something out of it. Gerry leads on a Tundra. So Gerry's list is exciting to me because it's blue-white control. I love blue-white control. I love blue-white control and blue-black control. Those are my favorite kind of like general Magic archetypes, kind of strategies, I guess.
Spell Snare.
Spell
Snare?
Painter Servant. Yeah, from Painter Servant.
John's gonna crack his fetch in response here. Let's see exactly what he's going for. Maybe he's gonna. If he has a brainstorm, of course, he can brainstorm a response here. Or he could misstep it as well, but he could also just paid for that. But I was gonna top. What am I thinking? What's he gonna do with that 1 mana? Oh. Use the artifact that is clearly on the board. And one day when all of you viewers at home become a genius like me, you too can do coverage for Star City. Just kidding.
So the Spell Snare resolves, countering the Painter Servant.
Does not find his answer.
And Gerry just draws and passes a turn after playing an island.
Seems like a theme here for Gerry's deck, or at least early on.
Draw, land, go.
It's a very classic.
John, who added a Mox Opal to the board last turn, just casts an Intuition.
So go ahead, lose 2 pieces of your combo from the deck, so I can counter the one you keep in your hand.
Seems like a plan.
I can only assume if he didn't counter it to begin with. Now he does have Welder in his deck, so he can always get back the pieces that get left in the graveyard. So we're not entirely dead with this deck. And it looks like he's actually just going to go all Welder here. Yep, Welder, Welder, Welder. I guess you get to keep Welder, huh? Gerry looking much more now like his Twitter photo again. I was telling him on Twitter they needed to change it because it was irrelevant. It was like, you know, outdated, but he's going back to that look.
Decided to change his look instead.
And I just thought about how awesome Platinum Empyrean is with something like Ancient Tomb.
Huh.
Like a lot of the decks that run Ancient Tomb also run the Empyrean,
yep.
At least in the board.
You saw Ali having that available.
Misstep the Welder. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. Mental misstep. He's trying to decide whether he wanted to pay the 2 life or the mana cost. And top in response. Gerry has thus far only cast 1 casting cost counterspell so far in this match.
Just don't put it in the corner.
Right.
Yep, the welder goes. Joins the other two in the yard. Gets misstepped. And Gerry plays a Misty Rainforest and says go. Brainstorm resolves. John knows now that he must ask for permission for any of his 1-mana spells, of which he has many. Several of which are his combo pieces. He cracks his polluted delta there, and he searches up. He's looking at the volcanic island, and he plays it. So we get another look on the top from John. John's to Brainstorm. 2 of the cards I didn't notice fast enough.
Grindstone off the Mox Opal. Yep. And Gerry casually.
Which of my counter spells will I use? I will use the namesake.
Counter spell. Oh, I thought you meant which set?
Oh, I don't know if he has multiple.
Yeah, I don't know if he does either. But
he just keeps drawing counter
he
spells.
plays Counterspell for the Grindstone, and another Brainstorm from John.
Man, this is intense. I like this a lot.
I like it too. I like that Gerry's just played Counterspells.
I also like the fact that I don't understand why he doesn't just wasteland the seat of the Cyanide to turn off the Mox Opal. Keeps using that Mox Opal.
Yeah. Well, I guess
You could always just intuition to response to the wasteland too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely doesn't want to wasteland that ancient too. Just keep letting him take this 2 damage.
Gerry's attacking for 2 every time.
Yeah,
every
I know.
time John uses the Ancient Tomb.
Which is kind of why I think he should get rid of the seat, though, is because then he's going to be kind of forced. Because it'll shut off essentially 2 mana from him. Well, now he gives him an interesting decision here. Grindstone, Painter's Servant, or a 3rd card that I can't see because it's just off camera, unfortunately.
Trinket Mage?
Is that? Oh, yeah, okay.
It looks like Trinket
Yep.
Mage.
I'm pretty sure it's Trinket Mage. The mirrored in block art.
Yeah. I like that one better. The new one's good art, but I like the old one better. So Trinket Mage goes to the graveyard.
Wait, what? Why'd only 1 card go to the graveyard?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about. What did he grab? He grabbed Trinket Mage.
That's weird.
I don't even remember what the other 2 were. Now I was trying to figure out.
It was
what the
Grindstone, Painter's Servant.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. It's Grindstone's underneath there. It's up next to the
just-
Trinket
oh,
Mage.
okay,
It's just
okay.
slanted in a different way.
Yeah.
Didn't even see it.
Yup, makes sense.
So he got a Painter Servant then.
We're going to get the fetch and response here. We're either going to get a hard cast Force of Will, or we're going to get a Force of Will exiling another one, or any of the other blue spells here. Hard cast Force of Will.
Hard cast. Why not? You know,
Well, I think he's got 2 more in his hand to back it up, so.
he at least has 1 more.
And a Brainstorm to dig them more. There's a Force of Will in return from John. I might meet the same fate. Have what?
Just
I have blue-white
white
control.
standstill,
I mean,
maybe?
I'm just looking at blue-white control personally. It's like blue-white Jace control. It's got Jace. It's got
It's
Shackles.
got Standstill in it.
It's got Standstill.
Draft over 1 top 8 players.
Standstill hardly
We are
seems
ready
like the
to
central
begin
plan here.
the top 8 matches.
Just
Please
another
report to
tool
your head
in his
judge,
belt.
Justin Turner, in the draft area once again.
Force of Will is
Draft
pitching a
over number 1
Brainstorm.
top 8 players. Please report to the draft open area
And-
for your top 8 pairing.
I think
Gerry
would
has
go
the
Force
option
of
to
Will,
force
pitch
back, yeah.
Force.
Gerry has Force, Brainstorm, Force in his hand, I think. 3 cards?
He has 4
Or 4
cards.
cards. Force,
Counterspell,
Brainstorm,
he has
Force,
hard
Counterspell,
counter.
yeah. It's not a hard counterspell when you're tapped out, though.
True.
difficult.
It's a hard,
counterspell
yeah,
to
it's a hard
play.
counterspell to cast.
Prohibitively difficult.
Okay, let's resolve. Is it fine? You get half of it.
And a refill off the hat. He named blue, you said?
Yeah, it's usually what you do.
Painter
At least-
Servant named blue.
At least that makes Gerry play around Red Elemental Blast, although there are none in the main deck of John's deck.
Yeah.
A lot of times players will play some in the main. More of a mono red thing though.
Yeah. So
Or
there's
refill.
repeal
Okay.
for the Painter Servant. And it's repealed. Gerry draws a Brainstorm off of it. So Gerry draws Vidalcan Shackles. I love that card. One of my
know, you
favorite
love
cards
that
in
card
Magic.
so
It's
much.
also my currently my wallpaper on my iPhone. Vidalcan Shackles.
Sure is confirmed.
Mox Opal and I guess a basic island there. Casts a Painter Servant. So John attempting to recast that. So Force of Will hard cast yet again for the Painter Servant.
And that one resolves. No answers there.
Alright, so Gerry with tons of cards in hand. There's Vidalcan Shackles. Alright, I'm happy. I can go home happy this weekend. In fact, it needs to steal something, and then I'll be really happy. It needs to
Steal
do
a
something.
Painter Servant.
It can, but
Or
he
a
just let
Goblin
it. He just
Welder.
countered it.
Oh, I'm saying
You
another
leave
one.
it there and take it.
There's the
Grindstone.
grindstone. That should not resolve.
How about Counterspell? And that works. Gerry just counter everything.
You love this deck. I know
am
you do.
absolutely loving it.
He's like, fine.
Stand still. Hold up. Hold still.
Sorry. My legs are shaking.
Yeah. Stand still. So Gerry resolves a standstill. And
And there we go. There's
Here
the,
we go into-
There's the win right there.
yeah.
Chase the mind.
Look at this draw go. Look, both players draw go, go, back and forth. Look. I think we've just seen about 6 turns pass since that standstill hit the board. It's neither of them even playing lands. There's a land. There's a land. They're both just waiting till their hands full and wow. So Gerry now has to discard. He's up to 8 cards. Unless he wants to break the standstill. Probably not likely. I see Crucible of Worlds. That goes to the graveyard. And John plays a land. John's still with, I believe, only 5 or 6 cards in hand. So Gerry plays a land. It's draw go right now. I love it. There goes a Jace to the graveyard. Interestingly.
Chase gets discarded. Oh, he's got a bunch back in.
I know. So Gerry's hand is a Mental Misstep. Wow, it's a lot of stuff. I know I see in there several Swords of Plowshares, several Mental Missteps. There's a Force of Will, a couple Force of Wills, another Jace the Mind Sculptor, which it looks like he's about to discard. Yep, there it goes.
I think he's just going to let his opponent deck himself.
Yeah, you wonder. Like, he certainly could, because at this point, John's intuitioned twice, right?
Yeah. And he could even crack the standstill when he gets him low enough, and just make him deck out.
Yep.
Wow. And if we see Gerry win this game off of a natural deck out,
I'm gonna stand up and cheer. I'm gonna stand up on the chair and cheer.
So apparently Nate Pease told me that he had an opponent do that to him yesterday.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. Talk about that after this match. Both players. This is just draw go back and forth. Trying to give you the play-by-play here, but it's just draw go.
Yeah.
lots of discarding going on. John's discarded Mox Opal, Mental Misstep, I believe a Grindstone as well, possibly.
Breaks it.
All right, breaks the standstill with a Sensei's Divining Top.
Standstill off it.
Yeah, and Gerry draws a second standstill. Or maybe more than a second. I don't know how. He may have drawn.
He has more than
I
enough
may have already seen more standstills.
counter magic in hand. He's like, yep, cool, resolve it. Look at your top 3 cards. It's cute. I'll counter anything you got. Play another standstill next turn. I mean, now I guess John may just be trying to catch up, get Gerry to catch up with him by making him break the stand, by breaking the standstills for Gerry.
Mm-hmm.
Say, fine, you want to deck me? I'll deck you back. I drink your milkshake.
Mark Sun, All Suns Dawn on Twitter, just asked if there's any signs of a Mistress Factory yet. Actually, no, not on board. I didn't see one drawn, and of course I think if it was drawn it would have been played, because Mistress Factory is win condition under standstill.
Yep.
It is in the deck.
There,
By the
yeah,
way,
there
there
are
are
3
3
in the
copies
deck.
in the deck.
There's standstill.
Jace the Mind Sculptor. See, this is probably better. Jace the Mind Sculptor, standstill. Stand still while I either Mind Sculpt you or deck you. I like the flavor behind this deck.
Yeah.
It's so much a Jace deck. Counter your spells. Stall. He's fate sealing himself.
Wow. Yeah, like the on-board shackles, right? Like,
Right.
can take anything that comes down to threaten.
Yeah.
But he doesn't stand still. He just goes.
No standstill, but in fact he discarded a standstill, I
Yeah,
think.
sorry, 2 standstills.
Did he have that many cards in here? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Probably just a handful of counterspells right now. He's just going to counter anything that John tries to do.
Yeah, protect the Jace.
Yep.
It goes Jace Protect plan right now, since there's been no Mistress Factory, as Mark Sun pointed out.
Draws a grindstone there. He's got a decent counter back
Yeah,
too.
it's going to be a lot of
we're gonna have a
counter
fun
war.
little war here.
So Divining Top goes to the top of John's library to draw him into whatever it was there. I believe it was City of Traders, because he just played City of Traders.
Safe the rest of the game.
Yeah, so Grindstone on the stack from John. Right now, I'll tell you, not counting the Grindstone, there's a Jace the Mind Sculptor and a Vidalcan Shackles on Gerry's side of the board, and a Mox Opal on John's side of the board. Gerry Mental Missteps Grindstone. So, Mental Misstep on a stack. Doing a little bit of organizational, having some house cleaning over there with the lands, trying to line things up a little bit better. All right, mental misstep, your mental misstep. All right, that resolves. So Grindstone still on stack. Gerry, bring mental misstep, your Grindstone.
Try again.
Now I think both of these has been paid for with life.
Yeah.
By the way, actually all of these have been paid for with life, I think. Did John tap for his? I can't remember.
No, it looks like he's paying. Well, he paid for. I think he tapped for one and just paid life for one too. Very well.
Mental misstep, your mental misstep. So Grindstone still on the stack. I almost called it Grindstill. Grindstill stand on the stack. Adrian Sullivan tweets that he thinks that Gerry's standstill got John back into the game, that he was in no way in. And we saw that he wasn't in the game. He could definitely deck, but it was interesting. He wasn't in before the standstill. It was Gerry casting the standstill that may have given John a way to get back in. I think that's what Adrian is saying. Counterspell, your Grindstone. Alright, looks like a hard cast. Force of Will for your counterspell. This is a huge counter war. This is bigger than one we saw earlier.
Yep.
And, he lets it resolve. Okay. He's gonna brainstorm with Jace. Yeah, Mark's son notes you have to apply pressure under a standstill.
Right.
I'm not used to play. I've never played with standstill, and but talking to people about it, that was what I thought. But you know, watching, I was surprised when Gerry played it because I'm like, what is he doing with it? Like,
right.
Is he trying to draw cards with it?
I mean, that's why you know, it was good in Merfolk for a time.
Because you have the pressure right there built into the deck. Right.
Drop your dudes, and then you. Oh man.
So, Gerry brainstorms with Jace, then brainstorms naturally. After, John actually activated the Grindstone and milled Gerry for just 2 cards. Gerry, of course, setting things up with brainstorms so that the Grindstone is not going to be relevant without the Painter Servant. There's a Sensei's Divining Top from John. And a mental misstep for the Sensei's Divining Top from Gerry. I could watch games like this or matches like this all day.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people probably don't like it, but I love this.
I have no complaints. It's an intense match. I mean, it looks like Gerry might be kicking himself right now. You know.
Maybe it looks like he's giving himself a count.
Yeah.
He did, in fact, mill a factory, I think.
Okay.
Which is interesting, but at this point, maybe the factory isn't as relevant as.
I mean, his opponent's just going to start decking him slowly with the Grindstone. He's almost going to start millstoning him. I would start Fate Sealing with Jace, frankly. I don't know why he's brainstorming so much.
He's trying to keep himself safer from that Grindstone.
Well, he does have a repeal there.
Yeah, he's also, that's what he was probably digging for, some way to get rid of the Grindstone. He knows it's there. Gerry Thompson is a pretty good player. He must have a plan. If he wasn't in the match, here we are in game 1 of the match. If he wasn't in the game, he would just scoop and go to game 2.
Oh yeah.
So he knows what he's digging for. You know, it doesn't mean he wins, but he has a plan. He may have made a mistake with the brainstorm. I'm not sure of that. I'm just, you know,
I'm not questioning his judgment.
I'm saying, like, I don't think he would.
I don't think he would do anything without knowing what he was doing.
At least at this point, yeah. So no repeal on the Grindstone. There's a repeal on the Grindstone. Now we see that John has, 4 cards in hand? It's Force, Brainstorm, and a land. So he can... I don't know if he has enough mana to naturally force twice, but he can force twice by pitching the Brainstorm and paying for one, or hard casting one. So he can hard cast a force and he can pitch a Brainstorm to free spell a force.
Oh, sorry. He uses the Grindstone in response, and of course Gerry set it up so he doesn't have to go further. Swords and a Wasteland, I believe, at the graveyard, and Grindstone is off the table for now. Counting his cards. Imagine he's going to start Fate Sealing John here.
He doesn't have a lot of time. Jace is now just on 7 counters, I think.
Yeah. Based on himself.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah.
Mistress Factory. first one of the game comes down. First one on the actually on the board.
Right. Factory could actually kill John before Jace does. Seems likely.
Yeah, but at 5 life.
Yeah. Yep. Certainly going to start another counter war here, beginning with a Force of Will on Grindstone that John attempted to cast. John hard casts a Force of Will in response to Gerry's Force of Will.
Yeah. How much time do you have, Gerry? So there's a
Lion's Eye Diamond there.
LED. Gerry draws a Vidalcan Shackles. Activate Mistress Factory. Attack. Put you to 3. Should put him to 3.
Mm-hmm.
See any other reason that it wouldn't. Gerry's deck fanned out like it's an opening hand, yeah.
I believe his hand is smaller than his deck at this point.
Wait, isn't your hand always smaller than the deck? I mean, the deck
I mean,
is smaller than your hand.
you know what I mean.
Strike that, reverse it.
Strike that, reverse it, exactly. And it looks like
So, I think
John
Gerry,
took,
yeah.
Yep, John took game 1 there.
What did I do? I turned my head for a second to look at Twitter. I looked back and took.
He picked up his cards. I mean, Gerry realized he didn't have it.
I thought the Mistress Factory had enough.
No, because John stuck the grindstone and was going to outpace him.
I didn't even see the grindstone there.
The grindstone came down.
Hard
Hardcast Force from Gerry.
Huh? Jace only had like 7 or maybe 9.
Yeah,
tries.
it might have been probably at 9 at that point. Yeah, John had a Force of Will for Gerry's Force of Will, and apparently Gerry let the grindstone resolve and scoop. So,
wow, that was pretty ridiculous. I mean, I was looking at it going, okay, so he's going to try to kill him with Mistress Factory. Looked over at Twitter to see what people were saying. Looked away. Wait, what happened? How did he win? So sideboarding here. Wow. Gerry's got Spell Pierce. Engineer Explosive seems pretty good. Although he can only do it for 2, which seems relevant against this deck anyway. You know, I don't think he has access to any other color mana, right? Blue-white.
yeah.
See anything else?
No.
No. Okay. I thought I had seen a volcanic island, but I must have been imagining
Last round, or you must have been looking at John's list.
Okay, yeah, maybe that was probably what it is. Yeah. Gerry also has 3 Pithing Needle, significant against Grindstone.
Yeah.
Those will probably come in. He's got Swords to Plowshares. Probably, I mean, he could bring it in against the Painter, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the swords actually seemed pretty dead in that first game. They didn't seem to ever play into the game itself. Engineer Explosives definitely. Spell Pierce definitely.
he's got another
Crucible. I would say definitely, because milling the Mistress Factory earlier off of the
was significant. Yeah.
yeah,
And he also discarded his 1 main deck Crucible. So, well, maybe he just doesn't discard a Crucible this time. Maybe he plays with that in mind. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Maybe he brings it in. I don't know that he actually needs it. I think the other Crucible is more for decks that are trying to wasteland him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's no wastelands in John's deck.
Right.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just my guess. The Crucible's there more for that sort of thing. For him, he can reuse his own wastelands. If that's maybe that would be his plan. Maybe that's what he wants to do. But to me, it seems like just to fight Painter Grindstone, you want Pithing Needles. Engineered Explosive seems good. Possibly Spell Pierce, but there was so much mana going on in that last game. I don't even know when Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is basically only good early. If you're going late, the other guy's probably got the 2 mana to pay. So I'm kind of curious about the Spell Pierce. I mean, if you don't have it early. doesn't seem that impressive. Then again, I mean, if you're playing against decks that don't have a lot of lands, and again, decks that don't have a lot of land tend to be playing a lot of creatures, and that's not good for Spell Pierce either. So I'm not sure how convinced I am on the Spell Pierce in the sideboard.
In the sideboard at all?
Yeah, at all.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure.
Definitely comes in here.
I could be wrong. You think it comes in here?
Oh yeah, maybe right in place of 2 swords.
Okay.
I mean, just because he has like so many ways to.
So many targets.
Yeah, I mean, and he has the shackles. So like worst case scenario, he can steal Painter Servant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So shackle stays on the board. So that could certainly be an option. I mean, I don't know if he would take them. He might even take the shackles out too. But I think the swords might come out first.
Why does stealing a Painter's Servant even matter? It's still gonna.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I was checking. I was like, it's not just
okay. So maybe he takes out the shackles and puts in the other sword then.
Yeah, it seems like shackles was.
I didn't think about that.
What kind of like creature threats are even available? Like we've got Goblin Welder and Trinket Mage besides the Painter's Servant that he could take if he wanted, but Trinket Mage does its job as it enters the battlefield, so stealing it doesn't help. Goblin Welder, I mean, I don't know that Gerry really cares to take that either. Just kill it instead.
The Spell Piercers are just good for like early when he's trying to just go off.
Right, that's the thing. Just having 2 in there, I guess it's not a big deal. He can always brainstorm them away.
Yeah, it's
if
2 more
he gets
counter
them late.
spells. Yeah.
Right. I guess I'm just.
Well, let's see what they do. So
Yeah,
Gerry
absolutely.
got
I wouldn't be surprised if he brought him in. That was my first suggestion, but I was just trying to think out loud a little bit about the Spell Piercers.
John's got a Goblin Welder off of Great Furnace, and Gerry, that's
Gerry just playing draw go.
And Gerry plays Tundra, passes back. See the sign out here? Painter Servant.
Alright, so.
$16 counter spells, or however many in the deck, and Painter Servant resolves.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm kind of really curious about that.
Right.
Gerry plays a Scalding Tarn and passes. You got to attack in for 1 with the Goblin Welder there in the meantime. Another Seat of the Synod for John. I mean, maybe he's just trying to lull him into a false sense of security here. So he runs at something like an intuition or something.
So,
Servant's gonna get in there too.
Gerry draws a counterspell.
End of turn, intuition?
Yeah. So, end of turn. John casts Intuition Resolved, and he's digging for some cards. Looks like, what is that one on top? Well, I see LED. He's making some decisions here. It looks like he chose Lion's Eye Diamond, Grindstone, and something else which I can't see.
Was it Pyrite Spellbomb?
It may have been Pyrite Spellbomb, strangely.
Wait,
is that what that?
God, I cannot tell what that card is.
It doesn't look like Pyrite Spellbomb, but it looks like an artifact, like a new. That's not Pyrite. What is it? It is Pyrite
okay.
Spellbomb. Is it like an alternate art Pyrite Spellbomb or something? Doesn't look familiar at all.
Scroll down. What other sets is it in?
That's it.
That's
Mirrodin.
it? That's
Common.
weird.
I don't understand what that is.
Why can't I recognize it even though I'm looking right
I'm
at
looking at the art and I'm like, what? Did he have it altered? It's very strange. It's color what? Somebody colored it in. That's why we can't. Thanks, guys. Very, very appreciate you trying to really mess us up here. Wow, did Gerry just...
Yep.
Why did he not even try to counter anything?
Or maybe he had the counterspell back. I mean, like, maybe John just had the support there behind it.
And Gerry had Force of Will, he had Counterspell, he had Brainstorm in his hand.
He doesn't have to